Donald Trump once boldly declared that Americans would return to the moon by 2024, but then everything went silent. NASA failed to meet the goal. Who's to blame? And what is really happening out there in space? The truth may shock you. When Donald Trump assumed the presidency in 2017, his approach to outer space wasn't just symbolic, it was aggressively strategic. For decades, space had been considered a realm of scientific discovery, international cooperation, and human ambition. But Trump, he viewed space as something far more competitive and dangerous. In December 2019, Trump officially launched the United States Space Force, the sixth branch of the military. Its mission? To protect American interests in space and to deter adversaries, specifically China and Russia, from asserting dominance beyond Earth's atmosphere. Space is a warfighting domain, just like land, air, and sea, Trump declared. Many critics saw this as a drastic militarization of a domain traditionally used for peace. Others called it visionary. But one thing was clear: space under Trump had become a battlefield. Trump signed Space Policy Directive 1, instructing NASA to return astronauts to the moon, this time not just to visit, but to stay. The directive led to the creation of the Artemis program, aimed at landing the first woman and next man on the lunar surface by 2024. We will establish a foundation for an eventual mission to Mars, he proclaimed. But while the ambition was monumental, the practical support, financially and diplomatically, was lacking. To understand how Trump's space policy ties into broader strategic failures, we must rewind and examine another signature move: his global tariff war. Trump's administration imposed harsh tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from Europe and China, intending to protect American industry. Instead, it sparked retaliatory tariffs and damaged global supply chains. American companies bore the brunt of higher input costs. Consumers saw price hikes. Economists noted U.S. GDP growth slowed. Inflation rose. Global trade tensions increased. Now compare that to his space policies. Trump's nationalistic America First rhetoric also influenced his approach to NASA. He pushed for the U.S. to lead without necessarily working with others. This strained relationships with crucial partners like ESA, European Space Agency, JAXA, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, CSA, Canadian Space Agency. Scientific missions that once relied on international trust became tangled in political posturing. Space exploration turned from collaborative to competitive. For decades, NASA had one mission: explore and discover. But under Trump, some critics argue it became a political tool. While Trump boosted funds for Artemis and the Space Force, he cut budgets for climate research satellites, Earth sciences programs, international collaborations and press conferences. NASA's lunar goals were paraded as proof of American greatness. Yet internally, employees spoke of chaos, uncertain direction, and shifting political pressures. Multiple reports surfaced indicating that timelines set by the administration were unrealistic, primarily meant to secure headlines rather than reflect actual mission feasibility. Artemis missions were delayed repeatedly, not because of laziness, but because NASA was being rushed to meet a political deadline. One anonymous NASA official commented, "It felt like we were building a spaceship to win an election, not to explore the moon." Here's where things get strange. Several leaked Pentagon documents from 2019 and 2020 suggested the U.S. government was tracking unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, near space assets. NASA and the Department of Defense issued vague statements, but footage emerged from ISS live streams. Objects darting in odd patterns, broadcasts suddenly cut off. And then came the question, did Trump know about alien technology? Rumors abound that during his presidency, Trump received a classified briefing about extraterrestrial encounters. Yet no public disclosure ever followed. Instead, a tweet appeared months later. Very interesting things happening out there. People would not believe. Conspiracy theorists exploded. Some claimed he was silenced. Others believed he held back the truth to avoid mass panic. Former intelligence officials have hinted Trump was told everything, and he chose to do nothing. But why? After Trump left office in January 2021, President Joe Biden inherited a space agency in flux. NASA's Artemis program had to delay its 2024 target, citing underfunding and lack of preparatory groundwork. The entire lunar strategy was revised, and some proposed missions were canceled altogether. International partners like ESA and JAXA had become wary. Trust had been strained. Even contracts with SpaceX, a company Trump frequently praised, suffered from budget uncertainties. Meanwhile, the U.S. Space Force, though operational, remained under scrutiny. Critics questioned whether it was a necessary defense mechanism or a costly relic of Trump's militaristic vision. Was it built to defend satellites or dominate orbital lanes? NASA found itself caught in the crossfire, trying to resume its peaceful mission while adjusting to a new geopolitical chessboard Trump helped shape. Now, as Trump campaigns for a second term in 2025, the world is holding its breath. What will happen to space policy? Insiders warn that Trump may double down on military space dominance, possibly integrating Artemis with Space Force oversight. There are whispers of new directives, ones focused on lunar mining rights, orbital weapon platforms, and even establishing permanent American bases on the moon. The moon will be ours, one anonymous former aide claimed he once said behind closed doors. Will he finally reveal the truth about UFOs? Or will he tighten control over NASA, silencing any whistleblowers and reclassifying sensitive data? Imagine this, a secret vault inside NASA containing recovered craft materials, alien biological samples, and off-world communication logs, never released due to fears of disrupting the global order. Is this fantasy or tomorrow's press release? From moon missions to military satellites, Trump's legacy in space may be the most misunderstood chapter of his presidency. He turned exploration into competition. He shifted focus from curiosity to control. And perhaps he saw something so profound, so terrifying, that he decided humanity wasn't ready. Donald Trump launched a new era of space politics, from Artemis to Space Force. But the story isn't over. Now, with the potential of a second term, the future of NASA, and perhaps the secrets of the universe, hang in the balance. Will he unveil the truth, militarize the moon, or bury knowledge so deep it may never resurface? Stay tuned for our next episode. NASA, UFOs in Trump's second term, what is being hidden? Like, subscribe and turn on notifications, because what we uncover next could change your understanding of the cosmos forever.